everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Summer and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to my experience at Arizona State University. So really quick before I get into this, at this time there is a lot going on in America and I don't want to bypass this, but I have been promising a lot of people that I would have this video up, and I think it's important because it's really informational for if you want to attend Arizona State University, and a lot of people have been requesting this. I think information about education is important, so I wanted to go ahead and do this video. I'll have some resources linked down below, places you can donate to, information that you can gather on what is going on in the world at this time. So yeah, so let's just get into the video. I'm going to be kind of reviewing all of the questions that I've gotten and maybe like adding in my own piece to it. So yeah. So one of the questions that I got on Instagram was, did they require you to go on campus at any time? And I said that no, they didn't, which was great. So I haven't been to the campus at all since I started. But if you do want to graduate on stage, they do offer that opportunity for you, and they have different times of the year which you can go and graduate on stage. I'm not sure how it's working with everything in the world happening right now, but I'm sure in the future that will be offered, but I'm not sure about right now. Alright, so now I'm going to be taking a look at my video that I did, and I'm going to be kind of going through the comments with you guys and giving you more of an update on that. So one person said, Alexa McNamara said, some more info on the Starbucks program is that you pay roughly 40% of your tuition at the beginning of the summer, but Starbucks reimburses it to you at the end of the semester. So essentially, school is free besides your books. You only have to work 20 plus hours each week for 6 months to qualify. So that's pretty good if you are interested in the Starbucks program. I just wanted to mention that. So another question that I got asked was, how long is the lecture video in total each week? I heard all online university only provides 8 minutes of video lecture each week in total, but when I went to brick and mortar university, they gave me 8 hours of lecture each week. So I said it depends on your degree and your class, because I am a psychology major and I'm sure it's very different from somebody in another major. So I have had multiple lectures each week for class, but I've also had short ones as well, just one short one. Plus it is accelerated, which I forgot to mention in my last video. Arizona State University is accelerated, which means that in a full regular semester that you would normally have, it's broken up into two. So at term A, term B, and term C. Term A is the first 7 weeks and you have a week off. Then it's term B, which is another 7 weeks, and term C spans across both term A and term B. So on top of that, I also get supplemental reading. I have additional chapters I have to read, and additional videos that they give me to check out, but I do leave every class like feeling like I understand the topic, so to speak. I did a couple videos recently on how I plan out one of my study weeks, and I've kind of done some study with me's for how do I study the video lectures and how I read through the chapters and kind of find the most important parts. So I'll try to link those down below as well. Someone asked, is a Windows PC required or can I use a Mac? I personally have a Mac. The only issue that I had was when I took a computer class, the software worked better on the PC, and you could put it on your Mac, but you'd have to download like a program, and rather than downloading a really big file onto my computer that I just didn't want to keep, I went to Best Buy and I bought like a really cheap laptop. You could rent or use one from your family, and I got it for like $200, and then I resold it after I was done with it. So another person asked, I am also taking my master's online. I have several questions about your experience. So are most of your course content in modules or in video audio recording? So to answer that, my course content is in modules, and they do have videos, so like the lecture videos. I would say for most of my psychology classes, I have a lecture video for each and every module. So another one is, how often do you and your instructor and your classmates have a conference? I've never had a conference. It's just not part for, I think, like a bachelor's. It might be maybe for some other classes, but that's not just what we do for ASU. It might vary from university to university, but I've never had to do a conference. I know for masters, because you have to usually have like in-person hours sometimes, you have to do those conference calls. So do instructors conduct real-time live online lectures? So that goes back to what I was saying, is that everything's kind of pre-recorded for you. You get like all the lectures done out every week. They give you the assigned readings. You get everything done. You do discussion boards, so you have discussions with your classmates rather than real-time discussions, and other assignments. That's just for like a couple of examples of a psychology class, but it does vary again from each program, each class. It's all varies, it's very different. So another person asked, do you need a certain GPA to transfer? And someone answered in the comments, it depends on your major. Each program has its own GPA requirement. So if you are interested in a program, personally, I would recommend just reaching out to that program's email, just finding the email online, because you can get a lot of really good information. My program is so helpful, and they help me plan out the rest of my classes. They answer any questions that I have when they occur. So honestly, reaching out to the programs department and just asking questions, I think would be the best bet if you need really specific questions answered. So I did have a couple comments asking about advice for studying and or just like in general how to study or how to prepare. So I did, like I said before, a couple videos on this, but the biggest thing is you have to really stay organized and find a system that works really well for you, because you can get really all over the place with everything. You have like specific due dates, and you have to have stuff studied before the due date comes up, or that's with the psychology class, or you might have like a lot of assignments for a certain class. So honestly, having a planner is really important, whether you do that digitally or you have a paper planner. Having a system in place is really important. So I would say it's not necessarily just studying, but it's more of making the time to study and planning out your study schedule every single week, which is what I do. So that way I feel like I'm always kind of ahead, and I know what I have to study every day in order to get to a certain point. So I had another person ask if it's available for international students. So my answer was that I believe it is, but it depends how your transcripts are evaluated. So anytime that you go to a college or university, they evaluate your transcripts. So you would have to speak with a counselor, and I believe that is free to do. And honestly, speaking with someone will be really helpful if you need like specific information answered. Okay, so then I got some emails as well regarding ASU, so I wanted to share the answers that I gave them to you. So one of the questions was, can online students get the same graduation acknowledgements as on-campus students can? For example, cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, and graduating with honors. So you can get those acknowledgements and graduating with honors. ASU has more information on their graduation page and graduation ceremony page. So another question that was asked was, do online students have a GPA as well? And the answer is yes, we have a GPA. It's based on the A, B, C, D, F system with points based on like A minus, A, and A plus. I did get a lot of questions regarding the programs available, and I'll link down below all the programs that are available, and that should answer like pretty much any do they have this program question. Moving on, someone asked if online students have breaks for the holiday. So basically you do have breaks, but it's kind of a little different. So you do have a winter break. They don't offer winter classes at ASU. And then you have, like I mentioned before, term A, B, and C. So between term A and B, you have about a week and a half to 2 weeks off. And then it's optional to take summer classes. You don't have to take them, so that could be your break, so to speak. And so same thing between those terms A and B. You have a break in the fall semester as well, and then I believe on specific holidays things can't be due. So I believe that's how it works, but it's not like traditional, this is the spring break. I think you just have a break in between your classes. So that's it for all the questions that I got so far that I wanted to share with you guys, and I just wanted to say another piece on my experience so far. So I'm entering into my senior year, and I was able to have my classes planned out for the rest of the year. For my psychology department, they worked with me to do that. So I'm taking 5 classes this summer, and I'm taking 5 classes in the fall, and then 2 classes next spring. So that might seem like a lot, but that's just kind of how I wanted to do it. I would say another great thing, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my last video, is that if you do have 5 classes you're taking, it makes it a lot easier to study because, like I said, it's broken up into Term A and Term B. So I have Term A has 2 classes, Term B has 2 classes, and Term C is one pretty easy class that goes throughout about like 14-15 weeks. So I'm able to study for 2 classes instead of studying for studying for 3 classes instead of studying for, say, 5 classes. And if I were to have like a final or something, I only have the final for those, say, 2 or 3 classes instead of having the final for all 5 classes. So it makes balancing a lot easier because you are still considered full-time, but you just take the classes in shorter increments, if that makes sense. So I also did get a couple questions regarding finances. So I did a video about that, so I'll have that link down below. But for finances, I would say ASU is pretty affordable compared to like private universities. I'd say it's not that bad. You can, like I mentioned before, get funding through Starbucks if you work with them at least 20 hours a week, and I believe that's only for their first-time bachelor program. And there's also grants that are offered, and in general, I think it's pretty affordable after you get grants. I'd say if I did like a full-time schedule after grants and loans and everything, I have to pay like $1,000 out of pocket. So I hope this information was helpful for you guys. I know that it's kind of hard to navigate doing school online, but at this time in history, a lot of colleges, schools, everything is online. So online is kind of like the new normal. So I think rather than being stressed about it, just learning to work with it and doing your best is what we can do. And I hope this video was helpful. If you haven't seen my first video, I'll have that link down below. That also has a lot more information as well. And if you guys have any more questions, please leave them down below. If you have any videos that you want to see regarding ASU or finances or anything like that, please leave it down below. I've done a couple study with me, something about finances. So yeah, I hope to hear from you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it took so long to get out. And I hope everyone is staying safe out there and staying informed. So have a good one. Bye guys.